Hi, I'm Lori Betts. Welcome to Golden Years. This month I am interviewing Stephanie Mueller from the Alzheimer's Association. She is the Community Developmental Coordinator. So come on back and we're going to hear what's happening in her world.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Hi, welcome back to Golden Years. I'm Lori Betts. I am interviewing Stephanie from the Alzheimer's Association. And we are going to get a good education today on what this disease is all about and how there is a variety of help out there for caregivers, for the individual, anyone who might be involved. Stephanie, thanks for joining me this week.
Thanks for having me, Lori. I'm excited to be here and share about the Alzheimer's Association.
And you are so bubbly, so I think you're the right perfect person for the job.
Thanks. I'm very passionate about the organization. I've been with them for a year. And it's just a really great organization. We're truly about helping to raise awareness for the disease and to help those that have been affected personally, whether they actually have the disease or whether they are the caregivers, those loved ones that are taking care of those that have Alzheimer's.
Okay, so my first question is, because I am going through this with, I believe, my mother-in-law. So how does a person know what is the difference between dementia, Alzheimer's? You hear so much of it. You know, the customers come in the store and they say, well, my husband was just diagnosed with the Alzheimer's. She said, but he has been having issues for years. Does one turn into the other, or give us a brief history?
That's a great question. That's a perfect place to start, because oftentimes those two terms, dementia and Alzheimer's, are thrown around interchangeably, and they're actually quite different. Dementia is the umbrella term. So dementia is some form of memory loss or cognitive impairment. Alzheimer's is one type of dementia. It actually happens to be the most prevalent, the one that's most common, the one that most people hear about or know about, but there are certainly other types of dementia. Think of it like cancer. Cancer is kind of the umbrella term, and there's various forms of cancer. Dementia is the umbrella term. Alzheimer's is one type.
Okay. All right, so a caregiver, she sees a little bit of different changes. How does she address it? Does she talk to her friends? Does she read about it? Does she just take it out on the spouse? I mean, what help is out there for her?
So certainly this is definitely a case that's happening out there, whether it's a spouse, whether it's a parent that you're noticing with it. The Alzheimer's Association is a resource for those individuals that are out there.
Is it free?
It is free, yes.
Awesome.
All of our programs and services are free of charge, which is an amazing thing that we can offer. Because not only do we want to be able to offer programs and services to those that are affected by the disease, but we want to help those that are the caregivers, those that have to take care of those individuals. So oftentimes it'll start with maybe a conversation with a physician. My loved one is exhibiting signs of memory loss, or they're not doing things the same way that they used to, or normal everyday tasks that used to be just done automatic and out of habit seem to be more challenging, or they're forgetting things.
That being said, is the doctor, it's hard to believe that he would be educated in this. So does he just fluff it off or say, you need some outside help? Or does he give questions, or does he give some kind of cognitive test? Or
Certainly each physician is different, and as
True.
more awareness is going on with the disease and we're learning more about dementia and Alzheimer's, physicians are learning more about it and finding ways that they can have those conversations with the individuals. We try to work with a lot of physicians as well to let them know that we have services available, that we can be a resource to them, to their staff, and also to their patients, to the caregivers of those patients as well. So oftentimes, physicians will be able to have that conversation with their patient. They can certainly be a general practitioner. There can be a geriatric doctor who deals specifically with the older population. It could be a neurologist, so you can go and increase levels as far as doctor ability, or the knowledge that the doctors have.
And it's good to hear that the awareness is becoming more and more out there. I mean, this is such a closed closet disease because no one wants to hear that word, Alzheimer's.
Certainly.
But it's affecting so many people.
It is. Right now, there's 5 million Americans in the United States that are affected by this disease. And projections show by the year 2050, there will be 16 million Americans affected. Which is definitely a challenge. Certainly as healthcare costs increase, this is costing the country more and more money. It's not that more people are necessarily getting the disease. One of those causes for the increase is that we're living longer. We're taking care of ourselves better. So we're actually living longer. We're living past our 70s, 80s, into our 90s. So typically onset takes place in the late 70s, early 80s. However, we are seeing early onset as well. So we are seeing people in their 50s that are being diagnosed. Absolutely, truly too young. And that's where the Alzheimer's Association is really trying to change that. So not only do we provide those programs and services for caregivers and those affected by the disease, but we are also the third largest funder of research.
Wow, that's good to know.
It is amazing. So behind the U.S. and Chinese governments, we fund about 300 research projects around the globe. So we believe that wherever those research projects are going on, we want to be part of that. And we were making great advancements, even so that they are predicting by the year 2025 that there's going to be a drug out there that will change it, fundamentally change, either slow it down, reverse the process of it. Because right now there's not a drug out there that will cure it or prevent it.
And did I hear somewhere too that years down the road, it's going to be one of the high reasons for death?
Yes, right now we are the 6th leading cause of death in the nation. Wow. We are the only cause of death that's not preventable, curable, or treatable. You had mentioned about the talk with your physicians. A lot of times the physicians are hesitant to have that conversation or make that diagnosis because there's really nothing they can do to assist that individual to change the course of it. Certainly there are ways that we can help that individual and assist with the symptoms. But only 45% of individuals that have it are actually diagnosed. Versus 90% of people that have cancer, they're diagnosed with their cancer.
Yikes. So is it what we're eating, what we're not exercising, or it's just life?
Sometimes it's just life, some of it's hereditary. This is definitely not a normal part of aging. At one point we just thought, well, that's just what happens when you get old. You just lose your memory and that's what happens. Certainly all of us, as we age, we lose some of our memory.
We have too much stuff in our head.
We do have a lot of stuff in our head. But dementia, Alzheimer's is definitely not a normal part of aging. There's a lot of research going on out there about how do we maybe start to prevent it. Food-based, certainly, making sure that we're eating better, not only exercising our heart, which helps to pump blood to our brain and keeps our brain healthy, but exercising our mind, taking a different way home from work. When we get into the routine and doing things out of habit, our brain actually shuts off because it becomes automatic.
That's a very good point.
So even kind of changing things up, learning new languages, socializing is another great way.
Stay active.
Stay active. There's a lot of great research that's coming out that hopefully will help to avoid getting that diagnosis.
Okay, so Mrs. Jones in the middle of the night is awakened up by the spouse. is there a phone number that they could call when she is so frustrated?
Absolutely. We actually have a 24/7 help hotline that anybody is able to call literally 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's somebody there that can answer
human being.
questions. A human being, yes, a human being. The number is 1-800-272-3900. This number can be called from anywhere. It will route by your area code to your local Alzheimer's Association office. So here in Medina County and Brunswick, it would go to our local office, which is in Hudson, during normal business hours. If it was after hours, it would go to our national organization, which is in Chicago. And it could be, like you said, Mrs. Jones, her husband, in the middle of the night, maybe is wandering around. She's not sure how to handle him. Is a great question that we get. We'll get people calling saying, I'm starting to notice I'm forgetting things. Do you think this is signs of Alzheimer's? I've just visited the doctor with my loved one. The doctor says it's no longer safe for my loved one to be at home. Where do I start? How do I look for a community where my loved one can live in? These are all great questions, and these are all questions that our family service coordinators and licensed social workers can assist family members with free of charge. We don't charge anything for those services that we have.
Okay, if someone's dealing with this, a caregiver, and the person's like repeat, do you get angry with the person, or do you just say, you told me that, or how do you deal with that?
Those are definitely those questions that a lot of caregivers have. We talk to this caregiver about communication skills. Because oftentimes it is frustrating for that caregiver, because your loved one is asking the same question over and over again, or repeating the same sentence over and over again. And the normal inclination is to get frustrated and say you've already said it and stop repeating it. We really just try to work with those caregivers and have them just be in the moment with that loved one. Try not to get frustrated with them, because that only causes frustration and aggravation for that individual. So just accept it, answer the question, move on. Redirecting them in another way are definitely things that we will work through with those caregivers.
Because you don't want to really frustrate the patient, because then that's going to turn ugly.
It can. And oftentimes this disease is even more stressful and challenging for the caregiver and the loved one than it is for the person that's affected by it. Because you're slowly seeing your loved one change and become somebody that maybe you don't recognize, or somebody that's not the same that they used to be. And so we definitely want to be able to reach out to the caregivers. We provide different programming specifically for the caregivers. We actually have a program coming up in the Brunswick area at the end of September called Savvy Caregiver, and it's specifically for the caregivers. And how do you take care of yourself? Because certainly you need to be happy and healthy, because you can't take care of anyone else if you're not healthy. So we talk about that. We talk about communication skills. How do you communicate with somebody that has Alzheimer's? How do you not get frustrated? It's a phenomenal program, again, free of charge, that members of the community can definitely take advantage of.
Is it during the day?
It is during the day. It's going to be held at Tri-C in Brunswick at their campus. And it's a 5-week program that really is working with those caregivers to provide them, again, with that assistance that they need.
And education is the key.
It is. It is. And we really want people to just be aware that the association is out there, that we provide these programs and services. There's support groups that take place. We have 2 that take place in Medina County, one in Brunswick, one in Wadsworth. They meet monthly, and it's a great place for those caregivers to get together and meet other caregivers and realize that they're not alone, and that they are sharing this journey with others and can get definite tips from them as well.
Because a lot of people, I mean, when they come into the store and they tell me, that they're going through the spouse having the Alzheimer's, a lot of times they are so frustrated, they think it's only happening to them and their spouse. But it's out there.
It is.
I mean, so many people are going through this, and it's a closet disease. So you don't know what to do or where to turn. That's wonderful.
Truly, yes. The Alzheimer's Association has been around since 1980, so relatively we're new, and we are just really trying to raise that awareness to let people know that we are here, that we can be a resource. So we'll work with physicians, we'll work with healthcare organizations to just let them know that people can call us and that we can provide them with services to help them.
Oh, that's great news to know. Very good. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. Please come back and join us for the rest of our show. And Stephanie's going to let us know what is going on in Medina County to support the Alzheimer's Association. So come on back.
Hi, I'm Ed Zachary, Director and Service Officer for the Medina County Veteran Service Office. If you're a veteran or a widow of a veteran and you need assistance in filing a claim with the Department of Veterans Affairs, give us a call, 1-844-722-3800. That's 1-844-722-3800.
Welcome back to Golden Years. I am interviewing Stephanie from the Alzheimer's Association, and she is giving us some wonderful tools, tips to help you with this disease. How are you funded, the association? Where do you get your dollars from to help all of us out in the community?
That's a great question. So that's actually my role within the Alzheimer's Association. So we have the programs and services side of things, which we talked about, all those outreach efforts that we do. I am on the fundraising side of it, the development side of it. So
with your personality, I don't think you should have an issue.
Thank you. I truly love what I do.
I could tell.
It's a great organization. Everybody that I meet, including yourself, have been so warm and welcoming. So our largest fundraising event that we do is the Walk to End Alzheimer's. There are over 600 of them that take place throughout the country. We are actually trending as one of the largest walk-run type related events that take place across the country. We are seeing growth over the past 5 years in our chapter alone. We have almost doubled as far as participants and revenue, which is amazing. Wonderful. So the walk that's right here in Medina County takes place on Saturday, September 17th. We are moving to a new location this year, which we are super excited about. We are going to be at the Medina Community Recreation Center.
Okay.
We are going to have their field house. So you might think walk is outside, certainly, but we have a lot of things that take place that are inside. And so you never know what the weather's going to be like in September.
True.
So we definitely want to make it a family-friendly event, and we want to make it so that our sponsors have a good experience as well as our participants. So we rented the whole entire field house. So people come in the morning. Our sponsors are there, which are local healthcare organizations, memory care communities in the Medina County area are there. Elder law attorneys are part of the sponsors. We have about 500 or so participants that attend the walk each year.
That is great.
Which is amazing,
That
which is
is
another reason why we
amazing.
need to grow and we have vigor. We've been in Medina High School the past couple of years. We used to be on the square of Medina, which we know we love, and
I
it's
remember
such
when
a
that started,
great
yeah.
visual, but we've actually outgrown the space of the square, which is great. And that goes back to people discussing the disease more and people raising more awareness. So the walk, as I said, is very family friendly. We want people to come and bring their children. We actually have the bounce house that will be set up inside the field house, a little kid zone area as well. Our walk route is about a 2-mile walk when we go through the Forest Meadows development.
Okay.
So we'll go out the back of the high school, walk through Forest Meadows, out onto Reagan Parkway, and back through.
Rain or shine?
Rain or shine, yes. It's going to be sunshine and blue skies.
All
I always
right,
say
okay.
that. So, but we want it to be wheelchair accessible as well. So we had some
Oh, that's a good
individuals
idea.
that brought their loved ones last year who were in wheelchairs. So we go out and make sure that the sidewalks can be used through that entire walk route. And it's really a time for those caregivers to come together. And we talked about earlier that they think they're out there alone and that there's nobody experiencing the same thing they do. And oftentimes we hear that they'll meet people the day of walk and share common bonds with them because they've either unfortunately lost someone to the disease, or they're currently living with somebody that has Alzheimer's. So they're able to share those moments with each other.
That's super.
It's pretty
great.
cool. It's pretty cool.
And I know I'm involved with you on Medina County Senior Service Network.
Yes.
So a lot of the area rehab skilled places, the hospitals, they
Absolutely.
support you, and they have individual fundraisers in their facilities, correct?
They do, absolutely. So there's a lot of the healthcare or organizations or those communities, whether it be a memory care community, an assisted living, an independent living community in the Medina County area, will form teams. So they will put together teams of their employees. Some of them will do spaghetti dinners to benefit their walk team. Some will do art auctions, so they actually have residents in those communities create pieces of artwork, and then they'll auction them off to the community to benefit us. So it's just phenomenal. The support that we've received from the Medina County community has been amazing. Last year we raised more than $60,000 from the walk, and that
awesome.
number continues to increase, whether it's through sponsorship. So we look for sponsors to sponsor the walk, or whether it's just those types of communities putting together teams, or families and individuals will put together teams as well. You can be a team of 1, you can be a team of 10, you can be a team of 100, and the idea is just to get out and raise that awareness.
And like you said, with more and more people having this disease, because we all have blinders on, so when your family member gets involved and has their issues, I think people turn around and they want to support the organization. That's helping them.
Absolutely. Our largest supporters are the families and individuals who have used our services. They truly understand the value that we bring to the community and the way that we can help them. And they certainly in turn want to help raise that awareness and help to provide those funds back. The healthcare industry certainly understands the challenges. They're the ones that have those Alzheimer's patients, and they're taking care of them. So they understand as well. And then the rest of the community, faith-based organizations, you had mentioned before, where do you turn? A lot of people turn to their church as well. So we try to reach out to churches and get them to understand that we have these programs and services, and we can be a support system for them as well.
Good point. And what is the trend now? Because as I drive around, I see all these memory units appearing. They're being developed. So is that out of pocket? Is the facility charging the people, or insurance covered?
There's various ways. Those memory care communities, some of them take Medicare, some of them are out of pocket.
Does Medicare recognize this disease?
Yes. So some of those agencies will be able to pay for some of those memory care communities as well. And it really just depends. We always say to go to that community and talk to them about the options. They're definitely willing to work with an individual, and if they can't assist them, they will refer them to another community that may have the pay system that will work for them.
Very good. Okay, what kind of tips do you want to leave my viewers to help them get through this situation?
I would say use our services, whether you want to call that help hotline.
Oh, I love that hotline.
1-800-272-3900, 24/7 is definitely a great resource. Our website
Is it user-friendly, your website?
Our website is amazing, and it's user-friendly, yes, alz.org. Different aspects of the website. So there's a section of the website, if you are affected by the disease, you can go on there and learn how it's going to affect you. You can converse with others who are affected. If you're a caregiver, there's a support section for you as well. Sometimes people are hesitant to maybe have conversations with others, so they want to go to the website, they want to look up that information, they can get those resources there as well. Our walk that we have is certainly website friendly. When you sign up, you actually get a website of your own. So if you're a social media fan, you can highlight your website, post it on your Facebook page, send it out. Participants are amazed at the donations that they'll get just because they're asking friends, family across the globe for donations as well.
And like I said, when it hits you personally, then you intend, to support the organization.
And most often, even if you're asking somebody else, a friend, a family, a coworker, a neighbor to support you, they're going to have been touched in some way, shape, or form as well. Because there are so many people that are affected by this disease. We're in the Greater East Ohio area chapter, and we oversee the 17 counties in Ohio. There's about 60,000 people in those 17 counties that are affected by the disease. We actually see the most in our area in the state of Ohio of the six chapters of the Alzheimer's Association. And we are certainly not touching all of those 60,000 individuals. So we really want to be able to help them and provide them with some support, to provide them with resources that are out there that they may not even be aware of that exist.
And no question is a stupid question, because if you're in this house and you're living it with your loved one, there's got to be an answer or a helpful tool.
Absolutely. And if we don't have that answer, we're going to go find it, or we're going to find the resource for them. Then you're right. There's no silly question. No question is too big or too small. It can range from I'm starting to forget things. What does this mean? All the way to I think it's time for me to have the conversation with my loved one about not driving. That's a big issue.
How
do you have those conversations? And we will provide even community education programs. So if businesses want to have us come in and talk to their employees, or if they want to just provide a community education program out there for residents to come and learn what are the 10 signs, or how do you know, or how do you have those conversations, we're happy to provide those as well.
Okay, repeat the date, the program that's happening at the Tri-C.
Tri-C is the end of September. It is Savvy Caregiver. And then you can go to our website. The information's on there. You can call the 1-800 number as well to go through the screening of it as well. And then the Walk to End Alzheimer's is taking place on Saturday, September 17th. At the Medina Community Recreation Center.
That is awesome.
It's awesome.
I am so glad I had you on my show this month.
Thank you. I appreciate the time, and I appreciate you letting us, share with the community about the services that we have.
Well, and you're probably hiding in the closet. You hear so much about all these other illnesses and all these other organizations that are out there. But like we talked about, when you hear Alzheimer's, people just want to walk away from it and just bury it in the back of their heads.
Certainly, and awareness helps. So as we get out there more and we talk about the programs that we have, as we do the walk and more people come to the walk and more funds are raised, people become more aware of our organization, which is great, which is what we're hoping for, and we're hopefully looking to find that cure. The vision is to create a world without Alzheimer's, and I'm confident that we're going to get there one day.
I like that goal.
Thank you.
Well, Stephanie, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Golden Years this month. So if you have any questions or any concerns, call that 800 number, the hotline. Thank you. You have a good month, and we'll see you next month.
Doesn't see race. Love is love.
You make me wear my bike helmet.
taught me never to run with scissors.
And to follow the swimming rules. You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.